grips of a major emergency, battling to get the upper hand on this fierce fire that's ravaging Parisian Beach. One house has been destroyed. We know another home has been badly damaged, and many, many more are under threat. Hundreds of residents are in evacuation centres, and there's a leave immediately warning for those who remain. Our team of reporters is stationed right across this emergency zone to bring you the very latest as it happens. Adam Hegarty leads us off.
The Sunshine Coast ablaze, suburbs in the path of a firestorm, as paradise, in a flash, becomes a living hell. Parisian Springs raining fire, rivers of flame racing towards properties, impossible to stop.
Oh, Dad, where are you going, Dad?
On the streets, panic as residents fled.
This is very dangerous.
Like, absolutely insane. Let's go, Dad!
In the distance, an ominous, terrifying glow as flames, fed by high winds, appeared to consume properties.
We're just approaching and houses are legitimately burning down.
There's just houses going up left, right and centre.
Intimidating too from Pol Air, showing just what crews on the ground were up against, just how big and dangerous the fight would be. A convoy of firefighters, 300 in all, over 200 trucks, raced to save whatever they could. As police went door to door, ordering residents to leave.
Police would just be rushing down the streets, like telling everyone to get out. It's pretty crazy.
Locals grabbed what they could and left their homes to save their lives.
Well, the plan is to stay in the car overnight with the Cocker Spaniel and the Golden Retriever and hope that we've got a house in the morning.
Daylight began to reveal what was lost, but also how much was saved and just how hard the crews had fought. One property at Parisian Springs destroyed, another severely damaged.
Not one single fatality, not one single missing person. Nothing short of a miracle.
Many, many more, though, were still under threat. But daylight also brought a better chance to fight. And they brought in the heavy artillery. A 737 loaded with retardant gel, bombing the fire front, barely visible through the heavy blanket of smoke. As chopper after chopper flew mission after mission, picking up and dumping water. Trying to stop, turn back the tide of flames. But a forecast wind change brought new dangers, fanning the flames, sending exhausted crews back into the firing line once again. Flare-ups like these are exactly what people here didn't want to see. Rows and rows of evacuees lined up nervously at the side of the road, hoping for their chance to get past roadblocks and assess the damage. Conditions are expected to get better tomorrow, but get worse later in the week, with a return to high winds and temperatures.
We expect to see a return to the very high fire danger ratings on those days.
Watching from Switzerland, the Premier cut short her Olympic mission to fly home.
It's constantly playing on my mind. It's gut-wrenching, but my thoughts are with the people at home.
Paradise wasn't lost, and residents know they were spared. This battle might have been won, but the war isn't over yet. And that means no doubt another sleepless night for so many of these evacuees. You can see the flashing lights of the police car behind me. These roadblocks remain in place around the fireground. In the past few moments, we've still seen residents approach these police wanting to get back in, but it's too dangerous inside. This firefight continues. The positive is standing out here this evening. It does seem like these conditions are easing somewhat, but that's been the problem with this fire, particularly around here. It's so unpredictable, it's constantly changing. Nonetheless, Andrew, firefighters will be hoping tonight they get the upper hand.
Yeah, let's hope so, Adam. It's an incredible vision there too. Well, Ebony Cavallaro joins me now. Ebony, the thought that this fire was deliberately lit is infuriating locals, of course. What are police saying?
Well, police are taking this very seriously. Not only did they believe that this fire was deliberately lit, they believe that up to 8 in Queensland have been deliberately lit in the last week. And they say they're going to find those responsible and prosecute. As the sun came up, the battle was still to be won. Weary fire crews attacking spot fires, threatening street after street. This fire wasn't the act of nature, but the work of an arsonist. Maybe several.
It's just terrible, like, do they realise what they're doing?
As police went from house to house, social media abuzz with claims and counterclaims. A young boy accused of starting one of the overnight blazes, telling one person, "Okay, it was she lit a fire. I did a small one, stomped it out, and it was over. Then did a big one." To a different accuser, lit the crate on fire and threw it into the bush. It sickened locals who realised they dodged a deliberately lit fireball.
I'd like them to have consequences for their actions rather than a slap on the wrist. I think at that age they definitely know what's right from wrong.
It's scary.
Scary for the residents of Ormo on the northern end of the Gold Coast around lunchtime. Two 14-year-old girls under arrest after starting a fire in bushland behind homes on John Darren Street. They ran to a neighbour's home to warn them of the fire.
I just think we're very lucky. I don't really know how the fire can get out of control.
One girl with burns to her fingers treated by paramedics. 80 fires still rage across the state. 8 of them, almost certainly the work of firebugs, are now under investigation. Police Commissioner Katarina Carroll setting up Task Force Overcross to investigate each one. Homes and livelihoods were lost at Stanthorpe, families left with nothing, destroyed by a firebug.
Some of the behaviour has been unfortunately reckless and other behaviour has been purposeful.
A car yard fire at Geebung on the weekend is also under investigation. The acting Premier and Commissioner appealing to parents.
Some of this is just mucking around, and we don't need kids mucking around.
Can I please ask parents to speak to their children?
And the consequences are severe. Life behind bars if someone dies in a deliberately lit fire. The Commissioner vowing to hunt down those responsible.
We will be relentless.
Ebony Caballaro, 9 News.
Alex Heike has been at emergency headquarters for us all day, and Alex, the teams that are working there, they are just working around the clock to stay on top of this emergency.
Absolutely they are, Melissa, working behind the scenes to ensure those on the front lines are well informed, and for the very latest, the Deputy Acting Commissioner Neil Gallant joins us. Neil, just give us an update. How is it at the moment?
It's still a very fluid situation, a very dangerous situation. We've got the residents out of that area, but the crews are working very hard together with the water bombers, the crews right on the front line to try and hold that fire, stop it from getting into areas that are going to cause more problems for us and the residents.
Neil, we've heard so much from the survivors, but how are the firefighters doing on the front line? Some have been there for 10 days.
Yeah, look, it's early days in the season, so we're very conscious of the fatigue factor. We've brought in fresh crews today. We are bringing in additional crews from interstate, but we've got fires all over Queensland. The Peregian fire is just one of about 90 that we've got, so we're very aware of that fatigue problem.
Neil, you're a very busy man. Thank you so much for your time. Melissa, there is some 90 fires still burning across the state. A very fluid situation that really is changing by the minute.
People will be working through the night to keep a cover on that. Alex, thank you for that. But as these bushfires rage, a groundswell of support is doing what it can to help victims and weary workers, from bacon and egg sandwiches to free massages. It's the little things making a huge difference to the people in these challenging times.
A little comfort and kindness goes a long way when you have to flee a firestorm.
Why's the window up, Joe?
It was frightening.
Never seen anything like it.
No, never. Hope never to again.
This Noosa evacuation centre, just one of the makeshift refuges springing into action overnight.
It looked pretty fierce coming at us when we saw it.
Homemade food and care packages are making this terrible emergency more bearable. You lead the way. This local fruit store turning up out of the blue. What are the sorts of things you've been bringing in?
Just some strawberries, bananas, oranges, just easy stuff that people just grab.
It's not just displaced residents, emergency workers are being propped up as well. At the Peregian Command Centre, a non-stop barbecue, everyone is pitching in.
We had 2 young girls come in just not long ago with their backpacks full of Red Bull and left them here for the emergency workers.
A massage therapist felt she could help too.
For a lot of these guys, they'll be really fatigued.
You can't really think rationally at the time, so thanks to the firemen and the police. keep their cool.
While people are trying to do the best they can, it's the young victims of this firestorm and those pet friends needing TLC the most.
He's wondering what's going on.
As you can see.
Code 12. Yeah.
We've been lucky enough to not be affected directly, so we just wanted to do the best that we can to help the community.
The historic O'Reilly's Rainforest Retreat in the hinterland was the scene of a dramatic rescue last night. 131 people were sheltering there when conditions deteriorated on the access road and they were unable to evacuate. With the window to escape opening for just a moment, authorities leapt into action.
We presented with an opportunity of good weather for a brief period of time and some extremely aggressive firefighting on the ground. We were able to bring all 131 people out.
We'll take you further south now to Eva Millick in Beenleigh. Eva, you've seen firsthand the destruction that the fire left, that hinterland fire.
Melissa, it has been incredible to see the destruction and the damage at Beenleigh Lodge. But it is important to remember that here at the hinterland, it is still an emergency situation. Not long ago, we were evacuated from the lodge. There were real concerns about an active fire situation in the area. But police are also quite worried about this road. There is only one road leading in and out of Beenleigh Lodge. It is compromised. It has fire damage all through it. And they were very concerned about us negotiating that road as darkness fell. And therefore, an entire convoy has been moved here to a police roadblock. But earlier, we did manage to get your first look inside Beenleigh Lodge and speak with Chairman Steve Noakes.
So, Steve, walking around, looking at everything this fire has consumed in its path, you must be just filled with emotion.
Hi, yes, this is a shocking sight for, not only for myself, of course, but for all those people around Australia and around the world who've had some connection with this beautiful part of Lamington National Park over the last 80, 90 years. So, yeah, it's shocking and it's heart-wrenching to see what devastation has occurred here.
What do you think the founders of this beautiful Beenleigh Lodge would be thinking if they were here right now?
I'm sure they would be as devastated as this current generation is. But they were visionaries in what they created here, and our generation will do that now too.
Looking around, Steve, things are very bleak, but not all is lost. There is a very small glimmer of hope here. Talk me through it. What survived?
Fortunately, our tea house up near the trailhead of the National Park, plus the camping ground and our huts, they survived, and the historic Broom Cottage survived. So we had an opportunity, like back in the 1930s, when the place started as a camping ground, camping facility. That's what we're going to start with again. So tonight also we're launching a Friends of Beenleigh GoFundMe campaign for those people all over the world who have indicated they'd like to do something but are not too sure. One opportunity would be to make a contribution, small or large.
That is beautiful. Hopefully you can get all the support that you need to get this place and this community back up and running again. Thank you, Steve. Andrew and Melissa, thank you.
Thank you, Eva. Look, these wind gusts are getting really strong just as we bring you the news tonight right now. I want to bring in the weather expert, Gary Guthrie, right now. Yes, can you just take us through how these conditions are shaping up over the next 24 hours?
Well, Lofty, you're down below me in Bridge, and I'm up on Emu Mountain, and the wind a lot stronger here. It's gusting out of the southeast at 45 kilometres per hour. The concern is it's been increasing throughout the afternoon and set to get a little bit stronger. I think the next 12 hours will see the worst of it. Since the aerial water bombing has stopped, the fire has sparked back up. You can see the golden glow as we look down on Perigian, and in fact that's likely to grow even further into this evening. The winds will continue overnight and into tomorrow morning. They should start to relax a little bit towards the afternoon, but it's the fire danger that's set to continue. Take a look at the map of Queensland where we have those extreme fire dangers, but the worry is it's set to increase or elevate even further towards the end of the week as temperatures rise. But this wind change, take a look at the map over the past 9 hours. I want to show you the wind change. They were westerlies this morning. You will see it switch around to the south, down around the Gold Coast. There were gusts up to 60 kilometres per hour, and that's what's reached the Sunshine Coast late this afternoon, and that's why we're in for a windy evening here overnight. At least temperatures are a little bit cooler, but these winds will stick around, Lofty, into tomorrow morning before they ease tomorrow afternoon. Back to you.
All right, Jazz. Casey, it's a very much up and down situation, isn't it? Well, look, for the recent days, our fire crews have been supported by units from New South Wales on the front line, but last night many of those were forced to return home as this growing fire emergency crossed the border.
A spectacular show of force to save property. A bombing raid by a 737 air tanker, dropping retardant to halt flames marching towards Yamba. The towns of Enoggera and Woodridge are also in the line of fire, which roared in last night like a freight train. It was a battle in the dark, flames nearing the doorsteps of homes, fire crews mounting their defence. Other strike teams patrolled the streets, following the glow and going from door to door, joining forces with residents who chose to stay and fight.
Try and get through it. We're trying to keep it all there. These followers, mate, do an amazing job.
Morning brought relief. No losses of property, just stories to tell.
Earlier on in the night, those ambers, you hose them and they stay on fire. They wouldn't go out.
And the dreaded wind had dropped a notch, to allow fire crews to build a buffer around the village of Woodridge.
I'm hoping this backburn will do the job and we'll be saved.
But with the fire far from out and the wind cranking up again by mid-morning, there was little time for rest.
To help the ground crews that brought in aerial support, these strong southerly winds have been their primary concern. It's pushed the blaze right across this bushland. That's where it's at the moment, and it doesn't look good.
At times, the wind was clocked at more than 60 kilometres an hour, once again spurring the fire on. The advice is always be prepared, and these locals were. Sprinkler systems at full throttle, backed by hoses and the rural fire service, guaranteed yet one more victory. Hannah Sinclair, 9 News.
We're standing by for breaking news from the fire zone, but in a moment, neighbours left helpless as a suburban Brisbane home explodes.